Hi, this is Brad Laird. Today we're going to take a look at one of the most basic musical ideas, the major scale. You might wonder why knowing anything about major scales is important. Every note you'll ever play, single notes, chords of every description, chord progressions, and all sorts of musical ideas can all be described by relating them to the major scale. So let's learn how to play one. Okay, sometime, probably back in grade school, you learned to sing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Anyway, I'm sure you sang it much better than I do. Anyway, that little tune, do, re, mi, that's a major scale. And you can build a major scale starting on any note, but to make this easy, we're going to just start with our G string, our low G string. So that means we're going to build a G major scale. So that'll be our bottom note. We'll call that note 1, or you could call it do, or you could call it the root. Now going up from there, you find the second note of a major scale exactly 2 frets higher. So this note we'll call the 2, or you could call it re, as in do, re, mi. 1, 2, 3, so there's 2. For the time being, we won't worry about the names of the notes. All we want to do is locate the notes on the fingerboard and give them numbers. Okay, now to find the third note of a major scale, we'll move up 2 more frets. That'd be right here, so note 3 is right here. And you could call that mi. And next we move up 1 fret. And that will be note 4 of the major scale, or fa. Go up 2 more frets, and we arrive at note 5. That one's called so, or some people say sol. Move up another 2 frets, and we've landed on note 6 of the major scale, that's la. 2 more frets, and you land on note 7, also known as T. And then to finish up, you move up 1 fret, and that's note 8. That's exactly 1 octave higher than your starting note. So your starting note was a G, then that also is a G, 1 octave higher. Remember that the major scale begins and ends on a note of the same name, 1 octave apart. To create major scales, you just need to memorize the following sequence of 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1. I remember it like it's a phone number. Just pretend that's my phone number, 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1. And you can start on any note. We start on a G and we went up 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. But you can start on any note, anywhere. Here's one. We'll start on this open D string over here. We'll go up the same way. Up 2, up 2, up 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. And voila, you have a D major scale. Of course, when we're playing mandolin, we don't usually play the scales up and down a single string. An important fact about the mandolin is that any note played on the 7th fret can be played on the next higher string played open. Let me show you what I mean. You probably learned this while learning to tune your mandolin. If you play the 7th fret on the 4th string, you get the same note as the open 3rd string. And the same thing is true all the way across the mandolin. 7th fret on the 3rd string sounds like your 2nd. 7th fret on the 2nd string sounds like the 1st. So let's go back to our G major scale and we'll try playing it on 2 strings. What we're going to do is when we reach the 7th fret, instead of continuing on up that single string, when we get to 7, we're going to move over a string. So we'll start on G, that's note 1, up 2 frets, that's note 2, 2 more frets, that's note 3 of the major scale, 1 more fret, and we're on note 4. Now up 2 more frets, that's note 5, but you see we're on the 7th fret, so we could play it over here on the open D string. Then we go up 2 more frets, 2 2 more frets, and finally 1 fret. So that's our whole G scale played across 2 strings. Take a look at the notation included on the web page that shows these 2 ways of forming the G major scale. Right now, I mostly want to be sure that you can find the notes of a major scale, and we'll worry about naming them and playing them later. Now here's that complete G major scale. The way it's tabbed out, I've got it tabbed out as quarter notes. But of course you could play it as 1/8 notes. And you could play it up and down. And go in reverse. So why all the fuss about major scales? Well, once you know how to create them, we can begin to refer to notes by their numbers rather than their real note names. Instead of saying G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, which are the real names of the G major scale notes, we can just call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And the nice thing about referring to scale notes as numbers is that they don't change when you switch to another key. All major scales are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But if you had to keep track of the real note names for all the major scales, it would be a lot to remember. Let's go back and do a quick review. Okay, here's our G scale on a single string, and we're using that 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1 pattern. Here it is, coming up a single string. Up 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. And here's the same scale spread over 2 strings. Up 2, up 1, switch strings, up 2, up 1. In future lessons, we'll talk about many of the ways you can use this information, but for now, remember that you can make a major scale starting on any note, and you can find all 8 notes simply by ascending in the 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1 pattern. And also remember that you can jump to the next higher string when you reach fret 7. If you want to explore this and a lot of ideas in more detail, I suggest you consider my book Mandolin Masterclass, which is available on this website. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something new and useful. Keep your mind open, your mandolin in tune, and I'll see you next time.